Welcome back to the Shoot Your Shot podcast. Oh, it's going more Nashville, I think, now.
Yeah, a little bit.
The photography podcast with photographers Lindsay Coulter and Timothy Musa.
Howdy.
We are here to answer your DMs, voice notes, video messages, and hot takes about wedding and portrait photography. Wow. I'm so sorry to all the Americans in the room that I'm offending right now.
It's like 52%, I think, of our listeners are Americans. So.
Oh, well, it's okay.
Yeah,
it's only
it's
the majority of you.
Yeah.
Speaking of America, look at these nails. Do you guys think that these are Dunkin' Donuts nails or what? Are they?
Oh, yeah.
Are they pink and orange?
Oh, yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's the Dunkin' Donuts colors.
That's very close. If not the right
like, is
tone.
it the Pantone?
Yeah, it might be.
Watch, they're gonna be like, it's not even pink and orange. Lindsay.
It's like yellow
we
and
don't
blue.
have Dunkin' here, but I'm pretty sure while I was just channeling my inner Lindsay Jackson, that I'm pretty sure it's pink and orange. But anyways, welcome. This is the Shoot Your Shot podcast.
You're here. Welcome. If you want to tune in through the YouTube to watch and see Lindsay's beautiful nails, march your fingers on over to the YouTube channel. Check us out. Hit subscribe, like, comment, do all the things. Otherwise, we're in your ears. We're in your car.
Absolutely.
We're here to entertain you with some photography questions, answers, hot takes, all the things.
Yeah.
We got one question today from Anonymous. If you want to submit questions, ideas, thoughts around wedding photography, portrait photography, march your fingers onto the Shoot Your Shot podcast on Instagram and send us a DM. Slide on in. We'll get to your question ASAP.
And obviously, if today we have an anonymous question, you're more than welcome to be anonymous. And it doesn't have to be anything juicy, and it doesn't have to be anything crazy. You just maybe don't want your name
totally fine
read on a podcast on the World Wide Web.
We'll keep it anonymous. Yeah, we'll keep it real.
Or maybe it is juicy.
Maybe it's something you want to share with everyone. Maybe you want us to dox you. Happy to do that too. If you want to make it real and put your name out there, we're there for that too. That's what we're doing. Let's get to the question. Hey, Lindsay and Tim, loving the pod. My question is about discounts. I've had a few couples reach out asking if there are any discounts they can take advantage of from my wedding photography services. Do either of you discount? What is the best way to outline flexibility in my pricing / packages from Anonymous? Interesting. Yeah.
Take advantage of. It feels exactly like what you'd be doing there, doesn't it?
It's a bit telling. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a bit telling. Tim, do you offer discounts? I'm asking you this like, hello, Timothy. Do you offer
Can I get
any
a discount,
discounts?
please? Yes, the one discount that is public to my clients, which is on my FAQ, is for unplugged ceremonies.
Oh, I've heard of that one. Yeah.
Those are, if you don't know, unplugged ceremonies are basically ceremonies where people use their phones as little as possible to take photos and be in the foreground of many photographs. So the idea behind it is to have an announcement read by your officiant or have a sign put up somewhere in the ceremony space that reads like, hey, we just want you to be checked in. Put your phones away. No phones allowed. Put your phones in a box. Please turn them off. Don't take photos.
In a box.
Get them out of here.
Yeah.
And really, really nice terms. Mm-hmm. So that's the discount I offer to couples because I feel like it's important to their photographs that I capture or videos that I capture that we not be just...
Do you know where that discount came from?
No, I don't.
Sam Hurd.
Sam Hurd?
Yeah.
He created that? Oh.
Yeah, Sam started, as far as I'm aware, Sam started that. So Sam taught us that when I went to his workshop years ago. Sam said that he doesn't like to just immediately say no when someone asks him for a discount. So he wants to offer them like, here's a good reason why, right? Because when people come to you saying I'd like a discount, I'm like, well, wouldn't we all?
Yeah.
Wouldn't we all? So I guess the question is when a client comes to us and asks like, are there any discounts available? What would the reason be? Right? So you don't want to just ever discount your services for zero reason.
Just because someone asks.
Just because they ask, then it immediately makes them question the value of all of the pricing. And you're like, I just asked.
I can just ask for
sure?
money off and I can just have money off. That's great. Yeah, that's...
And sometimes that comes in the form of, I found this photographer and they are willing to do pretty much the same package as you for $1,000 less. What can you do?
Yeah.
And then I do what Taylor has always said, which is, sounds like a really good deal. You should go for it.
Yeah. They sound amazing.
It sounds awesome.
Let it rip.
If they're not going with that photographer, it's because they would prefer to go with you. They're just hoping that you will offer the same price as that less great photographer.
Yeah.
Or the person that's less of a good fit for you. If they were a fantastic fit with you.
Yeah.
Then they should be willing to pay your rates.
Back to what you said about what are you willing to match that in terms of like if I'm willing to scale down my services, then yeah, we can talk about reducing the price.
There's always an opportunity.
There's always room to move down or up the ladder depending on what you want from the packages that I offer. So,
but you can't have collection 1 for the cost of collection 2, right? And I've had people ask that.
Yeah.
Like I actually, one of the worst client calls I ever had was I took a call with a couple who basically in their initial consult, she said, we want your top package. Like,
okay.
We're all in on collection 1.
Yeah.
It's $10,000. So,
Yeah.
I mean, most of the people that do want that package, they actually don't care to dilly dally. Like if you've got 10 grand to spend on photography services, you're like, let's go, you know?
Yeah.
So they said, can we book a call? I was happy to book a call, of course, even though I was in Mexico. And I told them I'm in Mexico, but I will totally take time. Can we just do it first thing in the morning?
Right.
You know?
Right.
I'm going to be having a siesta later. So
For sure. Hammocks await.
yeah. So we schedule a call. I remember I left the pool. It was when we were staying at a condo in Playa del Carmen. And I leave the pool. I get all ready. I set up this desk. Like, you know, I'm like putting on business Lindsay instead of like Playa Lindsay.
Yeah.
And they don't come on camera. You're already on camera.
Come on.
So
Come on.
what the heck? Like, what am I going to do now? I'm going to turn my camera off. I would actually love to know what people do in that scenario, because it's happened to me a couple of times where people are like, oh, hey, Lindsay, like we're actually just driving now. And I'm like, okay, so now I just get to sit here and you guys are going to watch me?
Are they going to watch you though? If they're driving, I'll just turn my camera off then.
I know
That's weird.
I should just turn it off, but
Oh,
then
let
like,
me just make sure it's not distracting for you. Boop.
right.
Turn
But
it off.
but then it's not always, oh, we're driving. Sometimes it's just like, oh, we're not like, hey, how's it going? And I'm like, oh, is your camera not working? They're like, no, it is. Like, we just didn't want to be on camera today. And I'm like, this is already starting off weird. So anyways,
Great.
It was one of these situations. The guys immediately like sort of commandeering the conversation and not letting the woman who had inquired with me, who's his fiance, speak very much, which I
Interesting.
don't love.
Interesting.
And he starts getting into like, wow, well, like we do value photography services, but I didn't know I was going to have to take out a mortgage on my house for it. And I was like, well, you know, you don't have to. There are 3 packages that cost less money.
Yes.
And if you have to take out a second mortgage on your house to pay for it, I would actually super recommend you don't go with me.
Elope.
I think that you should find another photographer for that. And the guy's a real estate agent. So I kind of want to be like, buddy, you sell property that doesn't belong to you for a living. You want to just kidding.
Lindsay has some opinions on real estate agents.
Yeah.
If they haven't been voiced here on the podcast.
I'm just feeling really salty about real estate agents right now. Love to all of the fantastic real estate agents out there.
Sure.
But if you are one, or you're related to one, or you're married to one, or whatever, you know just as well as I do that there are some out there that do absolutely nothing for a very large sum of money.
Yes.
I digress. Homie is not our favorite kind of real estate agent. Okay.
Got it.
And he brings up this like, well, I didn't know I had to. And he was like, so what we're hoping for, and I always love this.
Hoping
like,
for.
oh, tell me. I would love to know. Like, this is just like a freaking buffet and you get to decide which parts of this you want. Like, I'm confused.
You don't go into a grocery store saying, cabbage is $2.49. What I would really like to pay for it is $1.49.
I know you've got the organic tomatoes, but what if I get the organic tomatoes for the cost of the not organic tomatoes? So he's like, so here's what we're hoping for. Like, so he had already pre-planned this, right?
He has a list. Yeah.
He came in with the Kijiji level of negotiation.
Right.
He was going to nag me off the top and be like, well, I kicked the tires and look, they're looking a little rusty and I just don't have that kind of cash to be spending on this.
All
and
right,
how
then
many
don't.
people do you think are going to book this? So, you know, what I'd really like is, yeah, we like this. And he just starts listing off all the things that are in collection 1, the package that his fiance inquired for. So we want the 12 hours. We definitely are going to need the 2 photographers. For sure, we're going to need those 3 photo books.
Okay.
Rush post-production, like definitely we'll need that. And like, these are all things that no one needs. This is not a need.
No.
And we're hoping to kick it around like the $7,500 mark. I was like, okay, so you just want collection 1 for the cost of collection 2, which is 10 hours, 2 photographers, an engagement session. Like, but you just wanted the sun, the moon, and the stars for this. That's not a negotiation.
No.
That's not how this goes.
No. You have to give and take when it comes to negotiations. You have to take something away for it to be valuable at the set price.
So I was like, yeah, this isn't really like a conversation anymore, though. You know what I mean? Like, this isn't, I don't really know how we get. I don't know how we get anywhere from here.
Yeah.
It's one thing if you said, well, listen, like we do really like that. We're totally willing to be flexible on maybe the number of photo books.
Right.
Maybe we don't need the second photographer
Maybe
the entire
expand
12
the
hours.
engagement session.
Maybe we don't need the rush post-production. Maybe we only need some preview photos and not the entire gallery in 1 week.
Maybe a photographer just comes for getting ready and goes home at dinner or something, you know?
Maybe I don't need the anniversary session. Like literally this included everything.
Everything.
And he's like, but we'd really love to spend like $2,500 less than what you're offering it for.
Yeah.
That's not a discussion I'm willing to have.
Yeah, no, that's terrorism.
So, and I think like, I mean, you have to have experiences with clients or potential clients like that to really like know how you'd respond.
Yeah.
And thankfully I was like, no.
Yeah. Taking a hard stance.
I said like, I'm absolutely willing to discuss creating you a custom package that costs less, but it's not a discounted package.
Just because you want to spend less.
Exactly.
Precise.
Exactly. Yeah. So yeah, what are you going to do? I would say, do I discount? Yeah, I do offer discounts, but basically what I've done is I have increased all of my packages by $500
Yep.
so that I can offer a $500 discount pretty much as like a starting discussion. Like if there's, they're getting married on a random day
Right.
or they want less out of the package. Like I need to make it somewhat reasonable so that when people say we don't want the engagement session, I don't have to say, well, it's complimentary. That's why I can't take it out. Because then people are going to do engagement sessions they don't need, right? So if somebody says, I want that taken out of the package, like the package itself needs to have enough wiggle room.
Yes.
So that when you do start removing a second photographer, taking an hour out or whatever, you're still making the amount of money you want to make that day.
Yeah.
So I think, to sort of bring it into like a broader discussion on pricing, you have to think about what the minimum amount is that you want to make that day.
Right.
For me, it's $4,000. For me to take a Saturday off, potentially in a year and a half, to know where I'm going to be and when I'm going to be there, it's going to cost about $4,000 to me. And that pricing has gone up. Like at one point, that was $1,200. I was like, sick. $1,200 sounds nice.
Sounds
like,
amazing.
what am I going to be doing 2 years
But that was
from now?
what, 2013, 12?
Yeah, maybe it wasn't $1,200. That was probably like the base actually was probably $1,200 I would have taken. So it really comes down to like, what's the minimum I'm willing to work for, and start higher than you think you need to.
Yeah.
Because $4,000, then if somebody says like, okay, well, that's for your 5-hour package. What if we only want 4? What if we want, whatever.
Yes.
We just have to leave room for discounts because people do appreciate a discount.
For sure.
I think that there's a negative connotation in this industry around discounting.
Okay.
And people think that it's like somehow like a bad word
Right.
to ask for a discount. I don't mind people asking for things to cost less. I just want to know that it's been built into my package to be able to offer them that. Because people do feel like they've won something. Think about, I went to the mall yesterday.
Okay. What'd you get at the mall?
Well, I had to get some new mascara.
Okay.
And then I just was touring around because our cleaners were at our house and I cannot be there when they're cleaning. It just feels very wrong. So instead of me cleaning my own house, now I've paid for people to clean the house and I'm now paying to go waste time at the mall. It's perfect.
Good.
Everything's on sale at the mall right now.
Oh, is that summer? Is that they do it all the time? Is that
They're
common?
making room probably for fall, right? Because it's end of July-ish and
gotta clear it out.
August, they're going to start selling back to school. Like there's already pumpkins up at HomeSense right
Shut
now.
up.
Oh
Really?
yeah, it's crazy. Such is the world we live in.
Yeah,
I know
really.
it's horrifying. But getting a phone call. Sorry, Dad. I'm busy.
Sorry.
You're going to be listening to this. Sorry, Dad.
Sorry, Ron.
Everything is on sale at the mall.
Okay.
And one of my personal rules is that I don't buy things discounted that I didn't need at full price.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to clothing and stuff. Like if I wasn't going to buy it for full price, I don't need to stock up my closet with a bunch of crap. But when you find something that you were sort of on the fence about, and it's like 30, 40% off, what a win it feels like.
Yeah.
You feel this like really like huge excitement of, oh my gosh, this was a thing that I didn't know if I could afford, or it wasn't like a huge priority for me yet. Now I can buy it.
Now I see it
feels
in my
really
life.
good.
Yeah.
And so I do think that people feel that way sometimes when it comes to wedding services, like they just feel like they've gotten a really nice deal. So for me,
Yes.
the way that I do that is by offering discounts at specific venues. So there is a good reason for it, you know? And my good reason is actually genuine. They make my life easier when I work at these venues.
To pile on top of that, I find that working with certain vendors, I will offer a discount as well. Like if I'm shooting a wedding with you, I'm doing
Yes,
video, you're
yeah.
doing photo, I will bake in and say, hey, if you book us both for this package, whether they reach out to Lindsay first or myself first, you'll get X amount of dollars off, because that is a much more enjoyable day. I create a
Yes.
better product. The couple's
Yeah.
happier. It's like a win. It's just
You and I both have to work a little less
Follow a
hard
jump
when
shot.
it's you and I working
Yes.
together too, right? Because you and I can sort of help each other out.
We
whereas-
build a schedule together. It's just a way better experience for our couples and for us on a wedding day. We have to hang out and
Yeah.
shoot the shit and then shoot a beautiful day. So
Yeah.
there's nothing wrong with that. Venues, I will absolutely discount for,
Mm-hmm.
especially when I'm at a trade show when I can meet people in person. I'll say, hey, nice to meet you. Good. Welcome to my sales funnel. I'm Tim. That's Lindsay over there. She's also awesome. Work with all the three of us. Let's all get together and shoot a wedding. Amazing discount. Or just me. That's totally fine. You just want video for your day? No problem. Here's a discount that's probably less than working
Yeah.
with both of us. But having that kind of like touch point in person moment to like close a deal or get them
Yeah.
closer to it, super important. And then also, not to, I'm going to jump down.
No, please.
I wanna
No,
get these
go
out
ahead.
because I'll forget this stuff if I don't
No,
get it out.
please go.
Much like the mall, it's a limited time sale. It's not forever. So when
course.
you discount something and you offer it to a couple for X amount of dollars, X amount of time, my advice would be to put like expiration date on that quote.
Of course.
So I use Pixieset for my quoting, and if couples want like a custom package, I'll put together like a checkbox. They can list off all the things that they want in their package when it comes to video specifically, and then I'll put an expiration date. Like you have until end of the week to decide if you want this or not.
Yeah,
And then it's
100%.
just it motivates people a lot more to pull the trigger.
Yeah, I think that's a super important part. I'm happy you mentioned that because I was going to
Okay.
forget that, is that the discount has to be time sensitive.
Yes.
And one of the things that I tell people when they do drag it out and then they come back a month later, I'm totally transparent. I tell them the reason that this was less expensive was because it makes my easier to book you faster.
Yeah.
If we're having a long drawn out conversation,
No.
it's not for me.
No.
That's going to make my life harder. You're now digging into the number of hours required to book this, right? Like, so say that this was $5,000 and it took me,
16 emails back and forth over the course of 2 months. Now it's a value of $3,800.
and now I'm going to have to average that out over how many emails there's going to be in the future.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. It's a big indicator towards the communication going forward.
Right.
and
So I just tell people, like, there's a
Paperwork.
reason it's time sensitive, because generally people that are excited about booking and want to book and it's the right fit, they will book right away.
immediately.
And the ones that it's not the right fit for whatever reason,
Whatever
they won't
reason.
book right away.
Nope.
And then they don't get the discount because you're proving to me that you're going to be a more challenging, or at least a more, I don't want to say needy, but like kind of like a client that just needs a little bit more work. Like
a bit more hands-on.
Maybe you're indecisive. Maybe you, whatever reason, right? Maybe you just require a bit more leading.
Yeah.
But if you're like, we're good, let's book this, no big deal. Yeah, you get a little bit of a discount for just not being the
Difficult.
massive pain for me.
Philosophical question. Do you include the idea that you offer pricing discounts on your website, or is that something you wait for couples to bring to you, or do you mention it in a call? Where does the idea of
because they
discounts
did
come
say,
up?
what did they say? What is the best way to outline the flexibility
Yes.
in my pricing? Because like most people won't throw out most people that I'm working with aren't throwing out the, hey, do you offer any discounts, unless you tell them you do, because they
Yeah.
don't want to be that person,
Yeah.
right? Like,
yeah.
so I actually do have it on my website. I mean, I have all my pricing there, which I think also scares some people, like photographers, away from doing this, because they're like, well, what if I offer flexibility in my packages depending on where they're getting married or time of year or whatever, right? Basically, the way that I address that is I have it's like a flex. I have all of the venues I'm a preferred vendor at listed. And I say, and if you're getting married at one of these venues, depending on your date and my availability, I may be able to offer you a discounted rate.
Amazing.
They don't need to know what that is.
No.
The venues all know that I do that.
Yep.
Right. So they can, when they're referring people, they can say, here are sort of your good, better, best people. And if those people are looking like they're out of your price range, just know that sometimes they will offer discounts because they work here.
Yeah.
It gives them all the more incentive to refer us as
Yes.
well. So you can offer referral discounts. So did you know that in Canada, it's actually illegal to offer kickbacks?
Oh.
I just found this out.
Oh. Define a kickback for people who might not know.
So a kickback is, and it's very, very common. It used to be really common, I guess, until it became illegal in Canada. It's probably still really, really popular in the US. Say a wedding planner refers you, and the wedding planner is only referring you because they know that they're going to get, say, 10% of your booking.
Interesting.
That's actually illegal in Canada. I just found this out.
I did know this because, is it insurance brokers? I did some event where there was like a massive thing where all these like insurance brokers or people got together. I forget, they were salespeople of some kind.
Yeah.
It was years ago. And they were telling me that the parties they used to have in Canada were insane because of the kickbacks that the people got.
Yeah.
So they would just like give away cars. They would give away all these incentivized things that they can no longer do because it's no longer legal.
You can still give somebody a gift.
Okay.
So I can
But it's based on their sales records.
Yeah, so
which is
I
like,
still provide the planners that give me lots of referrals. I still send them like some nice
things.
gifts.
Sure.
I'm not going to give them an itemized report of every wedding that they've referred to me with a 10% commission.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That maybe it's not illegal if it's completely disclosed to the client, but who's going to disclose that to their clients?
Yeah, true.
Like so it used to be a thing that actually like wedding planners in Canada they were taught that in their wedding planning like course, like WPIC or whatever the course was. They actually used to teach
you can make money off vendors. Yeah.
That's how you would increase your bookings is by saying, well, if you work with one of these vendors, then I'll give you like.
Was it ever two ways? Could I like recommend a planner and then get a kickback from them, or is it only from the top down from there?
I'm sure it's only the other way because it would be the planners that are finding all the vendors.
We don't know any planners like that, just to be fair and clear.
No, like of course, planners have their favorite people to work with, just like we have our favorite people to work with.
Totally.
That's not based on a financial thing.
No.
It's not based on them gaining anything from that other than we're making their lives easier and they would like to have easier days.
Easier days and greater, happier couples.
But the way that you can get around this is certainly not a way that makes you more money, I would suppose, as a planner.
Okay.
But it's just that I would end up giving clients a discount if they work with certain planners, right?
Yeah.
And I should also clarify, like, we're not stacking all these discounts. So if they're getting married at like one of our preferred venues, and then they also have an unplugged ceremony, and then they also work with one of my favorite planners, and then they also worked with Tim, and now I'm making $400. No, like, and I have had people ask, like, oh, like we, just got the contract and we saw this part about an unplugged ceremony and can we have that? And right beside the unplugged ceremony discount, it literally says right beside it, and you can't miss it. It says may not be applied alongside any other discounts.
It's like trying to order an item off Domino's Pizza and then you're trying to stack different coupons.
It's
exactly not how that
like
works.
That. There's no stacking.
Cancel out. No, you do the 50%. What, 2 times a year? Code 500?
Dude, I don't order Domino's. Who are you?
Oh, I love Domino's. You don't like order Domino's? I love Domino's.
No, I like real pizza. So that's
It's not
awful.
pizza though. It's Domino's.
That's true. I'll give you that. I'll give you that.
It's a different
it's not
food
pizza.
category.
It's dough and sauce is what it is. Yeah, don't tell.
It's cake and it's
Italian
delicious.
So no, I don't stack discounts.
Well, their ordering
either,
system
just like
is amazing and perfect, and it's really good for teaching you about not being able to promo stack. So that's another good tip when you're outlining your packages and pricing is to make it clear that if there's 4 or 5 discounts you offer based on working with other companies for their wedding day or for an unplugged ceremony or for reducing rates, give them one option that they can discount. They can decide, do I want the $150 discount for the whatever unplugged ceremony or the $400 discount for working with the planner I love working with. So they can make the choice on the value prop of each discount and decide what works best for them.
Okay, one thing I do want to address with this as well is, if you're a photographer at the earlier stages of this game and you're trying to avoid the huge problem, which is being known as the cheap photographer.
Yeah.
There is another thing that you can do that I think is really helpful to know about. So instead of just saying, I'm a wedding photographer because I'm new, I'm charging $900. Because a lot of people will say, oh, well, you're only ever going to be known as the person that charges $900. Because honestly, if you do that, what kind of clients are you going to get for a $900 day, right? Not the kind of people that will build you a portfolio that's going to get you to a $5,000 day. It's just unfortunately
not the kind of people you want to keep working with 5 years in.
No, it's not how that cookie will crumble at all. So I would say it's a really good opportunity for you to offer an introductory rate. And I feel like I've probably talked about this before. And this isn't just with weddings. This is with portraits and everything.
Yep.
So you offer introductory pricing. So that's another thing that you can do. So if you are anonymous, if you're a new person and you're like, well, I want to be able to offer some flexibility. I want people to know, like, listen, I'd rather get the booking than lose it.
Yeah.
And there are still days like now that I get inquiries that I'm like, how am I going to tell them this is the rate I'd like to make?
Yeah.
But that's a wedding I would like to book badly enough that I'm willing to lose. I'm willing to take a little bit of an L on the money.
Yeah.
Because I really want this. So I will still do that if I say, like, you know, I just want to let you know there's some flexibility here because you're getting married at a destination I really want to go to,
Right.
or that's a venue I've been dying to work at, or something like that.
Right.
The other thing you can do, though, is when you are new to something, so say you're new to family photography, or
Okay.
you're new to newborn photography, you can say that you have like a limited time promotional rate, right? So instead of just offering like a cheap rate all the time, it has to be time sensitive.
Okay.
You have to say how long that's available for.
Yep.
Maybe it's available for the first 5 bookings at that rate. Maybe it's available for the next month. Or maybe you just say, you know, a very limited number of these available, and when they're gone, they're gone. You
Got
don't
it.
necessarily have to define it.
Like
Also,
mini sessions, right? You could do the same thing.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. You know what? You bring up a good point. We are coming into mini session season,
It's
aren't we?
that time of year.
We should actually do a whole episode on minis, what to do and what not to do.
You could teach me. I've never done mini sessions.
Oh,
I'd like to like
okay.
wrap it
Oh
up
my
and do
God.
it.
We actually should.
We should this is great. A little
We're going to do a
workshop.
mini session. Let's do a mini session marathon.
Hell yeah. And you guys can compete.
Workshop.
You can join in.
Yeah,
We'll all
that would
work
be really
together.
fun, actually.
Teach me everything you know, how to book them. I want to
But
be
the one thing I want to say
Okay.
about mini sessions,
Yes.
just, you know, while we're getting into mini session season.
Yeah.
And I call mini session season like moving
Fall.
into fall, into
Yeah.
winter, right?
Yeah.
Because people really want like
Christmas cards. They want to take advantage of the leaves.
Yeah, but the interesting thing is that I get people at this time of year always saying, "Hi, Lindsay, we're really excited for the fall. I've seen your work before." And
Yep.
it's usually like newer clients that don't know me that would ask this. Looking to do a super quick, super small mini session.
One photo is all we need.
With my daughter in the leaves once the fall comes.
Sounds great.
To which I always say, no, I'm not doing a mini session because not what you're asking me for is not a shorter session.
Yeah.
What you're asking me for is a cheap session.
Yes.
You want it to cost less money because you know that your kid can only last maybe a half an hour.
Right.
The fall in Ontario, the window of time per day that you have to shoot in is about 8 hours if you're lucky.
Yeah.
Right? Because the sun rises later, the sun sets earlier.
And that's not counting for people's work schedules to be
No,
available for anything.
I mean literally morning to evening.
Yeah.
It's like about 8 hours of nice light.
Yeah.
Then you want to get into, you want a weekend
Ooh.
or you want an after work. There's one slot
no,
after
no,
work
no,
before
no,
the
no,
sun
no,
is
no,
gone.
no.
There are 5 or 6 probably hour-long sessions if you're making everybody come to your location,
Yep.
maybe.
Do you just send them a mini session outline or like a date?
Oh, I
You
just
can-
tell them I'm not doing a mini session in the fall. I don't do mini sessions in the fall ever
okay. Interesting.
anymore.
But you
because
do them for
in the winter.
yes.
I do mini sessions and I call them seasonal sessions.
Okay.
And I'm happy for people to steal that term because I used to hold on to it. I was like, wait a second, I'm the only one using that term. I can't have like
No one will know what it is.
person in this area. No, I can't have one person in this area also using the term seasonal sessions. But
Got
no,
it.
I really do want more people to, it doesn't have to be exactly seasonal sessions, but I want you to recognize offering a mini session anytime anybody asks for it for any good old reason
Yeah.
is the same as saying, yeah, you only want half of what I offer for half the price. Absolutely. Take it or leave it. Like, this is not that kind of a world.
Right.
Your hour, the same as for weddings, your 1 hour of your life should have a minimum rate. And a mini session should not just be a cheap thing. You have to still be able to make what your minimum would be. It's just the same amount of time and effort for you to show up for somebody for a half an hour session as it is for you to show up for a 45 or an hour.
Bingo.
Like, you are going to give them probably the same amount of photos if you show up for that time and you just shoot for shorter. Like, you're going to work harder in that half an hour.
Yeah.
You have to do all of the discussion around back and forth of getting people booked in and setting up an online gallery and all of the same things that you would do, whether it's 1 hour or half an hour. So the only difference is that they pay you half.
That doesn't sound fair.
That doesn't make any sense to me
They're
whatsoever.
not your people.
So it's up to you, you know, if you have the capacity and you'd prefer to do like sort of one marathon day of minis in the fall, by all means.
Yeah.
For me, I can book an entire full day, Saturday or Sunday, if I have it available, of full sessions. So I'd rather do
that.
6 instead of 13
Yeah.
30-minute sessions at one location. Like, that's awful. That's not what I wanted to be doing with my life. So I'd rather do 6 full sessions on those days. But if you would rather bang them all out, you've only got one Sunday and you want to see a ton of people, it's a really good way to do it. But just remember, mini sessions are not cheap sessions. Mini sessions are an offering that you give people that give them a lower price, but it also needs to come with less. So it needs to come with less flexibility on the location.
Bingo.
They don't get to pick the time of day.
Yeah.
They, you know, maybe they do out of like a picker, but they're not just picking a random location and time on their own.
Yeah.
Right? They don't get to decide, oh yeah, I'd like all the photos. It's not going to work like that.
Yeah.
There has to be a give and take. It's just like any negotiation. Now the negotiation is, you want to pay less, you're going to get less.
You get way less. So stay tuned for that episode coming up, because that's going to be a fun one.
Yeah.
I'm already very interested in knowing everything you know about mini sessional season sessions.
People, you're going to make all the money. Honestly,
I'm
it's like one
excited.
of my favorite things.
Is
Our
it?
friend Chris
Okay.
Tejas is actually
That's
running them
right.
right now.
Thanks to your advice.
Well, I hope so. I hope he's doing well. I mean, maybe we should bring him on and
We
see
should.
how the sales are going.
Chris, you want to sit here? Love to chat with you.
But there are so many layers to it. The first ones you run will not be 100% successful. You'll just figure it out as time goes on. But I highly recommend the book Launch for that also. That's like another one that I really like. So if you're listening to this and you're like, how do I do a drop, essentially? That's a very good one to listen to. Or just come to our mini sessions marathon,
Maritime mini marathon
sessions. We're doing them on the water.
Let's go to PEI.
On the great open sea.
Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope, Anonymous, you got what you needed from this question, our answers, and our insight into pricing, discounts, packages, and making sure you are charging what you're worth, because you're worth it. And we appreciate everyone here tuning in, watching on YouTube, subscribing. What do you got? What? Oh, fuck! We didn't roll the 8 ball. Oh, gosh. Well, we're doing it at the end now. We're going to bookend it, I suppose.
Is Tim going to become a mini session millionaire?
Oh, here we go.
That's what we should call this session.
Mini session millionaire is a really...
That's my course. Nobody's allowed to steal that. That's mine now.
Mail it to ourselves.
I just copyrighted it.
Okay. TM trademark.
Most likely.
Yay! Mini session millionaire from the Maritimes. This is very exciting. Thank you again for being here. Really appreciate you. We'll see you in the next one.
From the Maritimes. Peace out, friends.
Peace out, homies. Bye.